All right, it's WAN show time again. It's the most exciting show of the week that
most
I host
on-time
with
show.
you.
We launched the show based on like degradation of radioactive materials so that we're like exactly millisecond on time. Everyone else just has incorrect clocks.
Yeah, well, there's a 7-minute time delay so that we can place our bets about the outcome of the show before, the betting closes. Everyone else is on a delay. You heard about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like
Really bad.
That was some Bush League stuff going on there. That's like, yes, we want to be taken seriously as a sport. Oh, also our athletes are gonna bet on a time delayed like match because event organizer is gonna bet on a time delayed match because they are spectating in the game. So anyways, let's go ahead and let's get started. We're going to have a great show for you guys today. We've got actually tons of great topics. I'm even gonna jump away from some of the ones that we did as our teasers at the beginning. Some smart TVs have started just inserting ads into content on their own. That's smart.
Cool.
France is deploying anti-drone drones at their nuclear plants. There's some stuff going on, like a lot of stuff going on at FrozenCPU. No one is sure exactly what kind of stuff's going on.
Also, Apple's activation lock is like seriously reducing theft of smartphones all kind of around the world. And Nvidia is digging even freaking deeper and disabled a 900M overclocking with a new driver. So, yeah.
Can you drive underground?
Yes. They do that for mining. Tunnels.
And our sponsors for the show today are Lynda.com, Dollar Shave Club, and 71. Oh, what's that? XSplit. Is that software we use?
Yeah.
Is that software that we've been using since we started on the WAN show that we always used to complain about, but now that we like?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Cool.
All right, guys. So let's get right into our first topic here. Nvidia digs deep as latest 347.29 driver on the GTX 900M series disables overclocking. Are you in the Twitch chat? Because I sure am not.
This was posted by Kubaru. I can post it. I've got it. No worries.
All right. I just want to get the Twitch chat open. I'm using a different laptop this week because there was a bit of an unfortunate occurrence last week, thanks to me using my general purpose personal and work laptop on the stream and a technical complication that basically, it's a long story. And the original article here is from Tech Power Up. I'm going to go ahead and screen share with you guys so you can have a quick boo at this. And some notebooks. So notably, we did a review of the G751J something or other, whatever. The G751, Asus's updated G750 that features... Dang it, Tech Power Up.
Just mute.
I guess I can.
You're
do
not
that.
screen sharing right now.
I'm not?
Oh, you are. How is that not going through that?
I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't hear it. Huh, that's bizarre. Anyway, okay, so we have a G751 that we reviewed. It did have, albeit very limited, overclocking features enabled, and Nvidia has pushed out a driver update that disables that, not only on the 970M and 980M, but my understanding is there's also another graphics card. I think it's the 860M has also had overclocking disabled on it. So you'll have to correct me on that.
Someone in chat says 860M and 850M.
And 850M too. So basically, Nvidia. So some users were upset because they kind of go, "Yo, dog." So I was overclocking my GPU and my temps were all cool. Get it? Temps were cool because cool is good.
Lack of heat.
Lack of heat.
or lower amount of heat.
Excellent thermal dissipation. So my temps are great. I was getting all this extra performance. I got a new driver update so I could play whatever new game it is that the kids play these days. And boom, no overclocking all of a sudden. So Nvidia has clarified that GTX 900M series overclocking was enabled by accident and has therefore since been disabled. Users were incensed, arguing that they should be able to use their hardware as they choose, even if it does void the warranty. Overclocking has been allowed on mobile GPUs from Nvidia in the past, but we've seen them become a lot more restrictive, even on the desktop side, in recent years. And every architecture seems to add some new functionality designed to let the GPU manage itself, versus paying really any attention to user intervention. So my take on this is, one, you shouldn't be overclocking your notebook GPU anyway. So there's that. Two, I think it's a dick move. Because if you want to break your stuff, it should be your right to break your stuff. Now, something that has always baffled me about the whole overclocking thing, where manufacturers will say overclocking voids your warranty, and then they never had any way to tell. Like, if you've ever taken, like, an iPad into an Apple store and for warranty replacement, the first thing they do is they whip out a flashlight and they look inside the connectors for those moisture strips or those moisture color change things. Because if they're going to say, hey, look, your warranty's void if you drop it in the water, then they better have a bloody way to actually back it up. Otherwise, it's all just this. It's just gum flapping. Yeah. So something that baffles me is, why doesn't NVIDIA just allow us to do whatever we want with it and then actually void the warranty? Why don't you just enforce the policy you already had, instead of making a new policy that just makes people mad at you?
And if it was enabled in the past, oh man, on like previous if it was enabled on previous if it was enabled on previous versions of NVIDIA mobile GPUs, they should just tell people. They're having a big communications problem these days.
Yeah.
They need to just tell people that it would not be enabled on the new one. If they told people it would not be possible and then it was accidentally possible and they took it away, that's a totally different story.
I mean, people will still be upset.
Yeah.
And I would still get it.
Yeah.
But it's incredibly frustrating how incorrectly NVIDIA goes about a lot of this stuff. And you know what? I get it. Honestly, this is probably something that comes about due to higher and higher end graphics cores being implemented in these like thin and light designs that were gonna thermal throttle or be on the edge of it, like barely make it. Like stuff like the GS70, like these super thin designs, Aorus's X7 Pro, hyper thin SLI enabled notebooks, they actually don't throttle. But as soon as you go ahead and you start turning things up, they will. So that's gonna create a bad user experience, going to potentially make the chips run even hotter, therefore reducing their lifespan. And the thing about something that's meant to be implemented into a finished goods product, like a notebook GPU, is that when that dies, like let's say your desktop, GTX 970, that's a $400 graphics card. Let's say that GPU burns out because someone was irresponsible and they overclocked it, they cooked it, whatever the case may be. If that dies, now
which is kind of hard these days with the GPU boost, but regardless.
If that dies, then that's a $400 RMA replacement that the manufacturer then has to deal with. Your Asus or Gigabyte or MSI or whatever else the case may be. If your laptop GPU dies, all of a sudden, we're talking about a $2,000 replacement. Or let's say at the lower end of these high-end GPUs, a $1,500, $1,800, even up to, $3,000 device that is now effectively bricked. Now, you could make arguments for, then, they should be doing mobile GPUs on MXM modules anyway, so that I could just replace the graphics card. And there are arguments to be made for that. But if you've seen the kinds of notebooks that feature replaceable graphics cards, stuff like the GT80 Titan from MSI, it's like 2 inches thick. And expensive. There is more involved in making that stuff modular and in designing an interchangeable system for the cards and the cooling slots, because none of that stuff's standard, and it's never going to be. I get people messaging me all the time suggesting that we do a video about doing a custom-built notebook. Custom-built notebooks died ages ago. My laptop that I got for university. So this was back in how old am I? 2004, I guess. So this is about, man, I'm old. Okay, so this is over 10 years ago. It was an Asus M5NE. And this was back when laptop displays were like 5x4. It was a 12-inch, which was a big deal at the time. And you could get an extended battery that stuck out the bottom like this much.
Awesome.
Yeah, and acted as a keyboard incline.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said they're awesome. They were actually really good.
So those were freaking awesome. But aside from that, so, having like 6 hours of battery life on a laptop back in those days was like amazing. So that one, I bare bones built it. So I bought my own CPU from Canada Computers. I bought some RAM. I bought a drive, and then I bought a bare bones unit from NCIX, and I put it together. And I realized that I had saved exactly $0. And that was when custom laptops died for me. And the fact that they make them even less upgradable and customizable now doesn't cost the consumer any more money. It just gets us better designs. Things like the Razer Blade 14 would not be possible if they were going to try and go, oh, well, we also have to build in the ability to upgrade the graphics card. Gee, how are we going to do that? We can't. Things like RAM and storage still really need to be upgradable, and that's something that really irked me about the Blade 14, the last edition that I covered. But I think I've kind of gone off on a tangent here. Dick move, poor communication. Also, something that users are not understanding clearly enough is I see a lot of people saying, oh, well, hey, my GPU temps were great, so there was no concern. It actually doesn't work that way. That's one temperature for one component. It has nothing to do with monitoring the health of the entire rest of the graphics card. Because even if it's integrated into another board and it's just like a cordoned off part of the PCB, it's still a full graphics card with VRM and memory modules and a GPU and all the other stuff that goes with that. So if any of those other components were running out of spec and just plain weren't designed for it, due to cost constraints or cooling constraints or whatever else the case may be, it could meet an untimely death, even if the GPU itself was fine and running at a frosty 60 degrees.
Yeah.
So
Frosty.
That's pretty good for a graphics card.
I know, but it's not frosty. Anyways, my laugh right now is amazing. That's all I have to say. That was beautiful.
You have like the that video that was going around about the GTX 970 memory fiasco with the guy that laughs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can't even do that, like the wheeze laugh.
I don't know how to do that. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Pretty good wheeze laugh going on there.
Oh man, that video was actually hilarious.
Okay. All right, so that was posted in the forum by Kabaru.
Yep.
Never seen that before. All right, we've got one of our classic posters here. This is It Is Official, posted by Good Bytes. RadioShack is closing down permanently. Files for bankruptcy. So our original article here is from TheVerge.com. I thought I had a touchscreen. I went to scroll the page. I hate my life.
Wrecked.
Okay, my life isn't bad. I have a great life.
Yeah, page down and page up.
Yeah, I prefer function up down for that.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. Anyway, RadioShack clearance blowout 20%, 50% off. They don't know how many percent it is. It's everything.
Percent off.
Yeah, just everything blows for them right now. So basically,
I thought that RadioShack was already gone.
Canada, yes.
Okay, because I was reading this article going like, what?
Circuit City acquired them, acquired all the stores, except I think maybe like a couple or something. Correct me if I'm wrong.
They just didn't rebrand some of them?
Rebranded it into the Source, which I'm not sure if it has ever turned a problem. I mean, Canadians out there, love to hear from you guys in the Twitch chat, okay? Have you ever bought anything from the Source?
I have gone to the Source once. I didn't buy anything there because they didn't it was, what was it? NCX had the exact same thing. And at the Source, it was like $45. And at NCX, I think it was like $3.
Okay.
Like a huge difference.
We have got some people in the Twitch chat that are actually kind of bothering me because you guys are clearly new. We got people saying RadioShack sucks or sucked or whatever. RadioShack might suck now, but RadioShack
RadioShack was the
It was
the shit.
It was
the shit.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like RadioShack when I was young.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, I'm so.
No,
Every story is going to be me being old today.
I'm old too then.
Okay, RadioShack was awesome when we were younger. Like, they were the one place you could go to find that weird, stupid battery that fits in that weird, stupid thing that you really need to get running now. And they'd be open at 8
all
p.m.
The cool, like, remote control toys and whatnot as
Yep.
well. Yeah.
Like, that was the place where if RadioShack still had their mojo, that would be the place where you go to buy all, like, your DJI drones and, like, all that kind of cool stuff. Like, they would have all the, like, the weird drone accessories for DIY repairing them and stuff. Like, they used to have all that cool stuff. Like, if you just had to buy,
they'd be like a Shapeways shipping portal and, like, all the, like, yeah, they used to be really cool.
If RadioShack hadn't forgotten who they were and started trying to be Best Buy and sell TVs and cell phones.
And cell phones, yeah.
Like, has anyone ever bought a cell phone at RadioShack? Like, why would you ever do this? I don't understand. And so, okay, now we've got some people that are RadioShack did take a massive dump around the year 2000. Yeah. This is true. They did. It's just that they used to be cool. See, flying truck. You cannot buy a resistor at Walmart. Just saying. Exactly. It was the place you could go to buy a specific resistor or capacitor, and they might actually have it. And then they stopped having that stuff, and I stopped walking in the door, and then the game was over for them at that point, pretty much.
Yeah, I feel like in the last 15 years they could have figured out how to go back, but they did not.
Yeah, and like RadioShack used to have like PC games and stuff. Like they used to have like joysticks and like stuff that like geeky dudes would like. That was RadioShack. It wasn't a specific category, but it'd be like, yeah, I need some like batteries.
An RC car or a joystick or some weird battery or like, resistor or a game or...
I need like something cool to play with.
Camera.
Or they'd have like, you know, like back when those clocks that had like the things that went back and forth and the timing of the LEDs was just so that you could read a clock and it looked like it was kind of hovering in midair. Like they just have like stupid cool crap. And now they're dead. So they're selling off 2,400 of 4,000 US stores. Rumors that Sprint and Standard General may pick some of them up. So they'll live on, apparently, through a store-in-a-store agreement with Sprint and Standard General. So based on that, Sprint is one of the purchasing entities. I'm guessing cell phones aren't coming off the menu at RadioShack. So RadioShack had an overall deficit of 0.19 billion as of November 1st, 2014, and had failed to post a profit since 2011. So,
there's a mini argument going on in Twitch chat about whether or not Amazon is better.
And RadioShack, they're not even the same at all. They have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah. You can get resistors and stuff off Amazon, but like someone in the chat said, you can't just drive there.
Yeah, you can't get it at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
When, like, you have a school... Like, okay, here, perfect example. So, like, a school project. Let's say, for example, totally hypothetical. You're making a wooden cutout dinosaur that has like one of those mazes where it has like the wire thing maze, and then you want to build like a wand that you go and follow the maze with, and then if you fail it completes a circuit and lights up the eyeball of the dinosaur. Let's say hypothetically you ever wanted to build something like that. RadioShack would probably be the place to go if you're like...
For like all of that.
For like all that stuff. It's like, I need a weird stupid light bulb that goes in the eye of a dinosaur.
Yep.
RadioShack.
And like the wand thing and the wire thing and everything, and then just get the other stuff from a craft store or just make it out of wood or whatever.
All right, so that's pretty much it for that. So sad day, but then I was sad back when they died.
I was gonna say
anyway.
It would have been a sad day if it was 15 years ago.
Yeah. This is interesting. So Ming posted this on the forum. Our original article here is from Yahoo. You got the link. All right. I'm going to go ahead and screen share with you guys. One thing that's nice about using this laptop is that I actually have an HDMI output now instead of relying on a DisplayPort adapter. So I think it should be more stable and more likely to work. So for police body cameras, big costs loom in storing the footage. Something that people that are tech savvy are not going to be surprised by. I'm sure a lot of our viewers are sitting there going, why are you even talking about this? Duh. But mainstream folks like the, government officials that are calling for this, are just kind of gonna go, oh well, it must be easy. No, actually, like
It's a big, really difficult problem.
if you've got thousands of videos, like we're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours a week, even thousands of hours a week. You deploy these on, okay, so in Duluth, Minnesota, I probably pronounced that wrong. I don't care. Sorry to everyone from Minnesota. 110 officer-worn cameras are generating 8,000 to 10,000 videos per month. And you got to store this stuff. You can't store it forever, for one thing. Okay, so you got to store this stuff for at least some period of time. So
30 days.
They're thinking 30 days, but
longer in many cases, apparently.
In many cases, longer, because what if you got rid of something on day 30 that someone sends in a complaint about on day 31? All of a sudden, wait, we need a system for, we can only delete the stuff that absolutely nothing happened, but we can't review all the footage at the time that it happens, which, hold on a second, now we need an administrative system, now we need some kind of software archival management thing.
Just upload all of it to YouTube. I had two plans. One of them was upload all of it to YouTube. If that doesn't work, throw Dailymotion a bone. They want some videos. They'd be happy with 8,000 more videos a month. Throw them on Dailymotion. The other one is maybe repurpose some NSA data centers. I'm sure the American citizenry would be happy with that.
That's a big problem, though, because the municipalities are saying, hey, you guys are throwing the burden on us to pay thousands of dollars for these cameras, which are nothing, not even approaching the cost of running the program. But we're supposed to, have these contracts and licensing agreements for data storage, and we're supposed to buy these cameras. We're supposed to train our officers on how to use them and how to not, obstruct them, so that let's say an officer did something inadvertently where they covered it up and all of a sudden they're, the latest, plastered all over signs and everywhere because they did whatever. You got to train the officers on how to use these. They're police officers, not like camera operators. And the municipalities are going, well, hold on a second. You guys are telling us we have to do this. Where's this money coming from? Like, is it coming out of the, military budget where they're buying tanks and planes and whatever crap they're buying? Like, do we get some of that money? No. So it just comes out of our budget. So what are we supposed to lay off police officers so that we can big brother the rest of the police officers? And I'm not saying, to be clear, I am not saying that law enforcement officials do not need to be held accountable for what they're doing.
There just needs to be a better, properly laid out plan so that this can actually work.
Or an actual plan.
Yeah.
A plan.
Because they just said you have to do it. They didn't really give any information about how or anything, did they?
So Sergeant Jason Halifax actually has a great quote. Everyone is screaming, we need body cameras, but no one is saying, where's the money coming from? What are you going to do with all the data? Who is going to manage it? Are we going to cut personnel? Are we going to increase taxes? Great point. Great point, Sergeant Halifax. I agree completely. So that's basically just, it's another one of those...
They should just give every officer their own YouTube channel, their own private YouTube channel.
It's another one of those things where it's like...
Seriously, though.
It's like this harebrained scheme that someone well-intentioned comes up with. Like, what was it? Is it Toronto where they banned plastic shopping bags? And then it turned out that the waste from all the paper shopping bags that replaced them ended up being much more harmful to the environment and also just less easy to use and like all these other problems. Yeah. It's like we gotta or the whole crap, I forget what it is, but there's some food, like it's a vegan or vegetarian, like it's a popular food that's actually more environmentally harmful to produce than beef.
What?
Wow. And the argument for I can't remember what it is exactly, but it's a lot of these well-intentioned things that in practice actually just don't make an ounce of sense, at least not yet, and not without a proper plan.
I think this does. They just need to figure out their data storage.
Makes a ton of sense because the amount of, like, you look at how bloated the legal system is now to get anything done. Cameras are an excellent solution. And then the funny thing is, though, it's always hilarious because as soon as law enforcement tries to use cameras to back up any claim they make against the civilian or whoever it is that they're trying to enforce the law against, it's probably the same group of people getting butthurt about traffic cameras as the people who are calling for the cops to have cameras monitoring what they're doing. You understand, like, I hope people understand what they're asking for here. You are asking for your complaint about the police officer to be basically thrown out immediately because it's like, yeah, we got a camera. There's no debate to be had here. But the good news about all of this is that the savings is going to come about eventually.
I'm not going to get into politics, but those are two very different conversations that you just tried to merge into one.
They are. Okay.
Very different, because you're talking about
you can debate
observing people who are currently employed to be administering other people.
No, you're talking about observing the people that they're observing.
But your main action that you're observing is the officer.
It is, but it's also
and
the other one.
These aren't stationary cameras, a very different situation.
It's both.
And yeah.
It's both. I'm just saying that the people who are upset about being filmed
but the
traffic
cameras thing is
traffic cameras, the whole automated thing.
That's a very different...
Most of the argument against traffic cameras that I think really holds water is that they're an outright money grab. They have nothing to do with safety. They have nothing to do with upholding the law. They have to do with planting them in places where, for nothing, for the cost of a van sitting next to the road, or in some cases now it's gotten even less expensive. Back when they implemented in BC, before they got rid of the whole photo radar van thing, they were stationed in vans. I don't know if I've ever told this story on the WAN show before, but I knew someone who knew someone who had just an utterly epic story about photo radar. So all photo radar vans were these white vans. They were these white windowless vans, and they would park on the side of the road. And then basically it was autopilot. There was an officer sitting in there, but they didn't have to do anything because it would just mail you a violation notice a month later or whatever. So one of the cops who was off duty arranged, not sure how, to borrow another photo radar van because he knew that one of his colleagues would just sleep in the van. So what he did was he waited until that colleague was on photo radar duty, borrowed another van, drove up, made sure he was sleeping, swapped the plates on the two vans, and then spent the next couple hours speeding past his own trap repeatedly. So while that officer was on duty, there was like a couple dozen speeding violations for the van that he was supposed to be driving.
That's actually so awesome.
It's like the most amazing troll I think I have ever heard of.
That's great.
It's fantastic.
No, there's again, I don't think we should talk about politics too much, but there's things with like the public should not be automatically assumed guilty and therefore not observed, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's a very deep conversation.
The thing about the photo radar, though, is that there is no assumption. The radar is first, the photo comes later.
That's not the conversation.
So the whole thing is that the police officers are being monitored.
It's a difficult IT question that they didn't expect.
Yes.
Pretty much.
And everyone's being more monitored, and that's what's happening.
I'm just interested in how they're going to deal with it. Right now, they have their contracting agreement.
Yeah.
So they have a 3-year contracting agreement for $78,000 for storing.
I think that was what.
That's
110 officers, 84 cameras.
Yeah.
This was Duluth, Minnesota.
Yeah. I think they need to localize that a little bit. I think that might be better.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what.
Or
the solution
honestly,
is.
I was being
money.
a little bit joking when I was talking about YouTube, but seriously, a private account that isn't uploading the videos to the public.
That is like a terrible, stupid solution that might actually work. But I mean, the agreement you'd have to enter into with YouTube about who that footage belongs to and privacy and all that, like it's completely untenable. Completely untenable, but
it's just fun.
All right.
It would work if you weren't actually the police.
Posted by Nine Shadow. This original source here is global.samsungtomorrow.com. Samsung has updated their EULA to basically say, look, we are not monitoring your living room conversations.
Which no one believed ever. Hopefully.
Like, look, the only thing we're listening to is voice commands. Because there was kind of a sketch looking warning about not talking about personal information in front of Samsung Smart TVs. Their privacy policy was updated, warning users they shouldn't talk about sensitive information. And then now it's saying, whoa, hold on a second. Yes, information could be among data captured, transmitted to a third party, but hold on, blah, blah, blah. We take our users' information privacy very seriously. Users can opt out of voice recognition whenever they please. No longer mentions any sensitive information, reiterates that users can disable voice recognition whenever they please. So I suspect actually nothing has changed. It's just a EULA reversion.
They're defining it differently or whatever.
This one's pretty good though. This was posted by Victoria's Secret, and there's a great Reddit thread. There's always a great Reddit thread for just about anything, isn't there? Where someone posts, well, hold on a second. Plex stopped playing my video halfway through and played a Pepsi ad. So this was posted by Beans90, and there's a 34-point upvote comment that says, yep, just Googled this to find out what's going on. Never had this in the 2 months I've been using Plex, but today, all of a sudden, it began. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Every movie I play, 20 to 30 minutes in, plays this Pepsi ad. No audio, but crisp, clear ad. It has happened on 6 movies today. Oh yes, mine is a Samsung TV also.
6 movies today. This guy's going ham.
Who watches 6 movies
What
in
is
a
he
day?
watching? Sorry, completely unrelated. That blew my mind a little bit. This is crazy.
So now, to be clear, Plex has already said, whoa, not us. Actually, we had nothing to do with this. And this is not the only application that users have experienced this in. So native smart TV apps, so the Foxtel TV service app in Australia is experiencing the same commercials. So there's a Foxtel employee that was quoted as saying, this absolutely should not be happening and is being escalated immediately. There's no word from Samsung as of February 11th when the article was posted, but it is speculated that it may be a new ad insertion platform that may have been accidentally turned on by default in certain apps, although none of this has been confirmed. Wow.
Yeah. I haven't, at no point in time have I ever wanted a smart TV.
I can't think of a reason that I would need it to exist. Although, crap, I feel like a terrible person. I think Sony is using Android TV for all of their smart TVs now.
Yeah.
Like, instead of the stupid, like, phenomenally stupid proprietary ones.
But, like, I want a good, dumb TV, and then I just want to plug Chromecast into it.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Dumb TVs don't even exist anymore. I mean, every single TV is a smart TV now.
I know.
So, get wrecked.
I know, yeah. Well, wait, what are those, what's that cheap Korean brand?
Samsung.
No.
No, that's the expensive Korean brand, sorry.
No, crap. They came up with, like, the really affordable 4K stuff really early.
It starts with an S.
Those are all not smart, right?
Yeah, I don't think they are. Seiki,
Seikyo, something.
Seiko's watches.
No.
I think it is Seiki.
Seiki, sure.
Along those lines.
So I don't think those are smart TVs.
Okay.
Man, talking is hard.
Got people saying Vizio. I don't think Vizio is a Korean brand. I don't know what Vizio is. All right. So basically, this is a big load of crap. So Samsung.
There's nothing else even really to say.
Yeah,
this is just stupid.
We're on the record as this is a completely ginormous load of crap. Like, I literally bought a piece of hardware from you, and you actually don't get to serve me ads on it. Mind you, I mean, okay, if we break this down a little bit, is it different from buying a laptop with a trial of Norton on it? That is an ad.
At least you know that's coming.
Well, maybe they put it on the box. Now with 30% more ad gen.
But it's not.
Right. But what if they did? Would you feel any better about it?
No. But I wouldn't buy that TV.
What if they all did it?
Then I wouldn't buy a TV.
You already don't buy a TV.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so the point is, we strongly disagree with this, and I think we might as well move on, because it's not like you and I are going to debate this point.
No.
So.
And the sketchiest thing ever.
Oh, are we moving on to that?
This is a sketchy, weird article.
This is like a horrible
Giant
article.
List of maybes? I don't know.
So FCC commissioner says this was posted by Commandman7. The article that we've got here is Breitbart.com, and there's an autoplay. Oops. There's an autoplay video here that I would really like to... Oh, I guess it doesn't really matter because I have my audio muted. So, here we go. Here's a picture of one of the two Republican FCC commissioners with President Obama's 332-page plan to regulate the internet. That is very strong wording, designed to incite upset. I wish the public could see what's inside. It's got about 4,500 retweets. So inferred in a tweet that the document is basically a scheme for federal micromanaging of the internet to extract billions in new taxes from consumers. And I guess the only thing I really have to say about this article, and then the fantastic one, High Taxes, Heavy-Handed Controls, and the Status Quo, linked at the bottom here, is that the amount of okay, I don't know if we want to use this site as a reference anymore, because it looks like the folks that are relying on these articles for their information have some information to gain about the internet and stuff. The comments under this second article in particular are fantastic, like about how the Title II is going to basically all that stuff that gets written by executives at telecoms and then signed by government officials who are in their pocket. It's like parroting of that. It's fantastic. I love it.
I thought we were streaming this. I'm kind of happy we're not.
No, we're not streaming it because basically it's a whole lot of terrible.
I was like pretty sure they were, and I was like, why are we showing this?
So, President Obama's plan marks a monumental shift between I think I already said that. The plan saddles small independent businesses and entrepreneurs with heavy-handed regulations that will push them out of the market.
Something I don't like about any of this is, here's the thing you can't read, and you can't know what's in it, except here's what's in it. I have a feeling all this stuff that they're telling us might not even be right.
Okay.
I'm not agreeing with or disagreeing with it, just we would need to be able to see what's in it before.
This is no accident. Title II was designed to regulate a monopoly. If we impose that model on a vibrant broadband marketplace... I guess if we did impose it on a vibrant broadband marketplace, this might be applicable. A highly regulated monopoly is what we'll get. Now,
that's what we have right now.
To be clear,
they have right now.
That is a valid point. Other than the vibrant marketplace bit, the whole bit about regulated monopolies not really being great either, because that's basically what we've got on the telco side as it is. So Title II, remember, the thing that we're all sort of going hurrah about is reclassifying the internet under Title II as a utility, which honestly hasn't worked out that great for us on the phone up till now either, because you still have no choice. Yay. So that is a valid point, but the part where this really misses the mark is calling the vibrant broadband marketplace vibrant and a marketplace, because it's not. It is horrible. It's even more horrible than a regulated monopoly. So is it perfect? No. Is it a step in the right direction? Yes. Is treating it as anything other than a step in the right direction just nonsense? And
to reiterate, we have no idea what this thing says.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
We have no clue. I can't agree or disagree with it because of what the hell is inside.
Well, I can disagree with the way it's being spun,
yes.
Which tells me what it gives me some idea what the credibility is here. If we're gonna call telcos a vibrant broadband marketplace, then we were wrong.
We have no idea what's going on.
We were wrong before we opened our mouths, and that's unfortunate. All right, so let's move on to more unfortunate news. Sorry? Oh, yeah. He's telling me to do sponsors. It's okay. We'll do sponsors in a bit. This one is pretty good. This was posted by Cat Butts.
I actually didn't mean to whisper that as hardcore as I did. It just wasn't good. Also, Cat Butts is awesome. He has a YouTube channel that I used to watch before I started working with you. And now he's a member of our forum and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Who else were we supposed to do a shout out for today?
Paul.
Right, yeah. Shout out for Paul. Paul's Hardware. YouTube.com/Paul's Hardware. Let's just go ahead and screen share this. So Paul is doing a giveaway. Look at him with his blatant advertising his how to build a computer video that is clearly inferior to our how to build a computer video. This is the silent build giveaway, so it's like a 4770K and some card with a GTX and some 8 gigs of RAM and some pretty cool stuff. And you probably have to be subscribed or something, which is unfortunate because look at this guy and the t-shirt he wears.
Wow, he wears a shirt with himself on it. What a nerd. I wear that shirt too.
Yeah, it also has you on it.
I know.
Okay, so as long as we've understood, the layers of irony here.
It is 100% collateral damage to myself.
That would be a great name for a band. 100% collateral damage.
You like have to smash your whole set every show, no matter what.
I'm adding that to our intro slogans. There's a doc. I should get you added on it. We're just gonna continue adding to it.
For the Mayo one, it's gonna be like Luke is sick or something.
I saw a couple of great ones on the forum thread where someone was complaining. I saw you responded to it already.
Yeah.
Where someone was complaining about do as we say, not as we do, being under our logo, saying it was unprofessional. And I was like, people came up with a couple other ones that make us sound like idiots. I was like, oh, these are great. These are comedy gold. I'm putting these in the thread.
That's awesome.
So intro. Bloody hell. Intro thing.
100% collateral damage. Yeah.
You actually have the voice for it right now.
Too bad I can't sing at all.
That's fine, I think, for that style. All right, so our source here is the Jay's 2 Cents forum. So we've got a post from this guy.
So is this like worse than WCCF Tech or?
I don't know. But basically, Jay's saying I've had some discussions with people. This has been all over the place. So we're gonna treat this whole thing as basically none of this information is confirmed. It is all hearsay. But basically a post showed up on overclock.net where someone was saying, I am a former employee. The owner has struggled with addiction or something along those lines. And there is no reason to believe that FrozenCPU will be back up and running. There has been damage to the premises. And then there's nothing on the site. To this day, there's nothing on the FrozenCPU.com website. And then other people have allegedly posted, here I have pictures of the alleged damage inside the FrozenCPU headquarters. So there's like parts of the office look pretty trashed. So
I like that picture. It's just like, oh, okay.
Here's this broken thing. Here's a beer bottle and all that kind of stuff. And so someone from a water cooling manufacturer said, yes, this is confirmed in the thread. Then the owner of the aforementioned water cooling manufacturer went in and said, whoa, hold on a second. We cannot speak for FrozenCPU. None of this is confirmed. I've exchanged emails with, but never met the owner, Mark, from FrozenCPU. I do know Matthew Buckner from FrozenCPU, but honestly, I just out of sheer respect for the quantity of emails that they're probably dealing with, I have not emailed either of them. I probably will at some point here, but have not emailed either of them to ask what's going on. Yeah.
It's really unfortunate. And like something's got to be going on if there isn't an official post somewhere.
So the site is still online. So rumors have it that FrozenCPU has said that they are running on a skeleton crew and they'll be back up and running. The ex-employee said something like physical damage of the warehouse has occurred, as well as dismissal of all support and warehouse staff. The site is still online, still accepting orders. So we're going to take a wait-and-see approach with this one.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all of them. Speaking of things that we'll need to wait and see about, this was posted by Ah Ming on the forum, and this is the new cutting edge, my friends. If you were running network cables that were not Audioquest Diamond RJ/E, whatever that is, Ethernet cables before, then you were completely doing it wrong, and you need to get your life back in gear because this is the new standard. These network cables are made of, here, hold on a second. I'm going to bring up the dang it, Windows 8. All right. They represent a lifetime's research and are the first, so the first, twisted pair Ethernet standard, just to be clear, 10 base T was published in 1990. So the relevant engineers must be 25 years old max. These are directional Ethernet cables. I mean, you wouldn't want bidirectional communication, discombobulating the waveforms. And the beating heart of the Audioquest Diamond are the solid 100% silver perfect surface conductors, where raw silver as opposed to cooked silver. Raw silver is processed by drawing through at a much slower speed than normal to create an ultra smooth surface free of indents and grooves, because the way that we all know, I hope we know, do you know that the way that it works is the electrons are like hurdle jumpers, okay?
They're like curling rocks.
In a race,
yeah.
okay? If an electron, traveling along a wire hits a hurdle, all of a sudden that electron is going to arrive out of phase with the rest of the electrons. And think about it this way.
That's how DDoS works.
Did you know that the Earth, if shrunk down to the size of a pool ball, if it was shrunk down, it would actually be smoother than an actual pool ball? Did you know that? That's actually a fact. Yeah. And so these tiny wires for these tiny electrons to not hit a hurdle need to be completely smooth. And the silver surface is reflective, which aids their travel.
It's also an antibacterial agent.
It's also an antibacterial. That actually is true, but has nothing to do with Ethernet. None of this had anything to do with Ethernet. So these are $10,000. I think that conversion may have been done incorrectly. Maybe it's like 10,000 Canadian rupees. So 4,700 Great Britain pound, 8-meter Ethernet cables for idiots. They have a 5-year warranty. They are supposedly Audioquest brand, which I guess
stupid, ridiculous junk will just throw an audio file on it.
I guess it if you're streaming from a NAS music files, then you want those electrons to not get hurdle blocked. So I'm just going to read the blurb because it's hilarious. The Diamond is a top-grade Ethernet cable, which is the result of a lifetime's research by Audioquest, made from the very best materials available. This really is a money-is-no-object cable for the dedicated hi-fi enthusiast that has extended into a world of digital audio sources. By extending the thought process of quality cabling from a server, PC, or media streamer to the router, extending the thought process from a server to a router? Further detail can be realized and restrictive shackles loosened. Audioquest's Diamond RJE is a directional Ethernet cable made with the same hallmark materials, philosophy, care, and attention that is applied to all their internet connects, whether it's an entry-level introduction to hi-fi or a dyed-in-the-wool music connoisseur. And I think they got dyed wrong.
Yeah.
That's a very different dye.
Yeah.
Dyed in the wool? What does that mean? Another upgrade is the complete plug redesign. You don't get to redesign the RJ45 connector. Well, made from silver with tabs that are virtually unbreakable. The plug comes with added strain relief and firmly lock into place, ensuring no critical data is lost. Critical data. Am I listening to music or is it critical data? All audio cables are directional? The correct direction is determined by listening to every batch of metal conductors used in every Audioquest audio cable? Are you serious? Arrows are clearly marked on the connectors to ensure superior sound quality. For best results, have the arrow pointing in the direction of the flow of music.
So for best results. So you don't even have to, really.
All insulation slows down the signal on the conductor inside.
Man, that sentence.
When insulation is unbiased, it slows down parts of the signal differently. A big problem for time-sensitive multi-octave audio.
You should be able to get sued for this stuff.
Wow. I hadn't actually read the product page yet. I hadn't finished. I hadn't gotten to that part. That was fun.
I didn't either. I read this and was like, oh, it's another one of those things.
That was really fun. Like, you know, monster cables, okay? Sometimes you can get monster cables on promo for like twice as much as a cheapo cable, and I would argue for buying them at that point because they are going to tend to have like better strain relief.
Connectors and nice sleeving.
They might have sleeving on them.
And sleeving on HDMI cables, which you have to run potentially through like wooden cut holes and stuff, can actually be helpful.
Can actually be nice. We're talking physical damage to the cable. Longer HDMI connectors with a better quality connector, thicker gauge wire. It may make a difference. It may be the difference between it works at all or doesn't work at all, which, by the way, for digital is the only standard. It works or it doesn't work for a video cable. So, okay, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
They're BS.
That was fun, but I need to move on with my life.
Everybody knows that.
So speaking of moving on with my life, lynda.com is the way to move on with your life. How do you like that segue?
Actually, that's actually a really good segue.
Yeah.
It definitely could be.
I have good segues.
It probably has been for a lot of people.
I have good segues every once in a month, week, year time. So lynda.com is, oh, you know what? Okay, hold on. I'm going to use my notes this week because Nick, the amount of butthurt that went on over last week when I forgot the sponsor spot was pretty intense. So, lynda.com is used by millions of people around the world. They have more than 3,000 courses available. They have topics like web development, photography, visual design, and business. They also have software training like Excel, WordPress, and Photoshop. All courses are taught. See, this is way worse than the way that I do it. Lynda.com is cool because you learn cool stuff and you can either, get better at your hobby or get better at your job or learn a new job and really take investing in yourself to the next level. Their subscriptions start at $25 a month.
I tried to look up knowledge is sexy so I could hold up an image of it and I got not what I was looking for.
No, you didn't. At all. So lynda.com subscription start at only $25 a month, and you can learn at your own pace according to whatever appetite you have. So they have a 10-day free trial, which gives you unlimited access to every course on lynda.com, so you can find out if it's right for you before you go ahead and commit to it. Our next sponsor today is Dollar Shave Club, and this one is pretty straightforward. Do you like shaving? Do you like it when people shave? Then you could buy a Dollar Shave Club membership for yourself or someone else who you think should shave. And we used to actually we used to have Dollar Shave Club stuff to hold up while we did these spots, but all of it got taken because Dollar Shave Club razors are actually they're pretty great. They're great. We have no problems with them. What else can we really say about it? You save money.
I should probably re-up my subscription.
You probably should.
I've been using the same blade for 2 months, I think.
Why do you have to do everything wrong?
I'll re-up.
Tell you what. I'll buy you a Dollar Shave Club subscription, okay? Because it's important. You're gonna hurt your skin with dull razors. It's bad. It's bad. Anyway, for only a few dollars a month, Dollar Shave Club saves you the hassle of going to the department store or wherever they keep all the razor blades under lock and key nearby you. If you happen to be too lazy to buy razors, then having the monthly subscription makes sure that you're using a fresh blade every week and getting the best shave possible so you can look like a well-groomed human being without ever having having to actually step outside the house, and you can save a few bucks while you're at it. I think the best thing about Dollar Shave Club for me is that the countries that they exist in, so Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the US, funny story about the New Zealand thing, by the way, they price things reasonably. They don't just go, oh, arbitrary, it costs 3 times as much tax because you're from Canada. I love that. Companies that are like, look, we have a margin target. This is how much
Our dollar's
our
already
product,
so much worse.
this is how much our product costs us, and this is how we're going to do it. Love that. That's a high integrity way of doing business. So the New Zealand story. I called out in a Dollar Shave Club sponsor spot on Linus Tech Tips that they're available in Canada, US, and New Zealand. Nick spazzed because they didn't say that they were in New Zealand, and like freaked out and was like, yo dog, what's going on? And he like sent an apologetic email to Dollar Shave Club, and they're just like, how did you know that? Yeah, we just rolled it out. And Nick's like, yeah, we're paying really close attention. Okay. And he asked me about it, and I'm like, yeah, no, I straight up screwed it up. I screwed up. I thought Australia and New Zealand.
You're telepathically connected.
I knew it was. I knew it was
It's
somewhere
the butt
in that.
wipes.
I knew it was
The
somewhere in
butt
the.
wipes gives you a mental connection.
Oh yeah, they don't just have razors. They also have butt wipes for men. They have aftershave. They have their shave butter. All kinds of good stuff. So, okay. I think we should move on to this is new.
Yeah.
This is very new. Nick, you can go. Whatever you have to say isn't going to be nice to me.
I wanted to say thank you for sticking to the script, and also you're the worst.
You know how it is. Love you, buddy.
Look, my mountain kind of goes with the logo.
So this is a product that we have been using very extensively over the last couple of years. And XSplit has actually launched a new version of XSplit, V2.
Whoa.
That actually, I mean, we didn't really have any complaints about XSplit for a long time. Like in the early days,
Once we figured out how to use it.
they did have some issues too. It didn't used to be 100%. So we've been streaming the WAN show on XSplit since the very first WAN show, I believe. Yeah. Since before the WAN show was the WAN show, we've been using XSplit. We really like the software. It's stable. It's feature reasonably rich. There's still a couple things that I might want to ask for, but for game streamers or for like prosumer grade broadcasters like us, you've got a ton of options, being able to stream at any resolution, having it be easy enough to configure in only a couple of minutes, and being extremely affordable makes XSplit definitely our platform of choice, which we don't have to like say it's our platform of choice because we just switched to using it because they sponsored us. No, we've been using it for a long time.
You can learn like video editing and like video management stuff from Linda. Make yourself look better with Dollar Shave Club, and then stream to the world with XSplit.
Yeah, it all goes together really well like
package.
that. So XSplit V2, they have some notes for me to kind of call out because we've been using it for a little bit here, but it has powerful new production tools built to meet the needs of today's content creators. Makes audio video. It has an audio video mixing application that allows anyone to create professional quality live broadcasts and video recordings like what we're doing right now. It supports all kinds of different. I'm abandoning their notes because I like my way better. It supports all kinds of different broadcasting modes, so you can broadcast at different frame rates and different resolutions. You can broadcast at different bit rates according to what's going to work out best for you and the service that you happen to be broadcasting on. It's fantastic. It has so many more options compared to free stuff like Nvidia's Shadow Play that for many game streamers it's sort of competing against, but in my mind it's not really a competition if you're trying to have a professional looking stream because the options are extremely limited, and XSplit gives us the ability to do all kinds of stuff like bring in video callers very easily, capture portions of the screen and mix and match them and switch them around and have like transitions. Whoa, that's all automatic. We don't actually do that stuff. What else am I talking about? Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to talk about Gamecaster. Gamecaster is one I haven't used as much just because we have the full broadcaster, but it's great for gamers that are looking to get started. You can easily stream and record your greatest gaming moments, can broadcast to live streaming services such as YouTube Live, Twitch, Ustream, and more. And the best thing is that XSplit, the free license, is You guessed it, free. So visit xsplit.com/Linus to try it out. The paid license, the one we have, allows like more scenes and higher quality audio and probably a number of other things. But those are the big ones for us that are why we go with the professional license. So we can have like all these different lower thirds. So thanks to XSplit, Dollar Shave Club, Lynda.com, and Linus Tech Tips for powering the WAN show today. All right, let's go ahead and move into our next topic here.
Which is awesome.
What's our next topic? You go ahead.
The drones in France.
Oh, I love this thing.
My voice is like super done.
Yeah, it's super
Nick, I
is.
need water.
Um,
Nick.
I don't know if he's gonna hear you.
Anyways, I posted it in the Twitch chat.
No one's going to hear you. I'm still trying to find it. I want to play that video.
There have been people that have been. Oh, it's just Control F for it, dude.
This was posted by Victoria's Secret on the forum.
Yes.
And this video is amazing. I love this thing. So basically, there's been an issue with. Let's go ahead and screen share.
People
with
flying
Linus.
drones over top of French nuclear reactors, like DJI drones.
So
wow.
So they're deploying anti-drone drones to go find those drones and break their shit.
Wow, I expected to like fly it down, but nope. Holy crap.
Nope, love it. Absolutely love the way that just got done. So I guess the real conversation here is not.
You know what they should do? They've probably done this to a certain degree, but I want them to bring it to like TV and make it mainstream. You know how they had robot wars? Make drone wars.
I think someone must be trying to do
on
that.
TV though.
Dang. I'm not sure. I know that. What's that
the
show that's coming
whole
back?
thing of
BattleBots
water.
is coming back. Did you hear
really?
that? Yeah, BattleBots is
That's
coming back.
awesome.
I don't know if they're still gonna have like Carmen Electra and stuff, but
I don't care.
But the format is coming
All
back.
I care about was the robots. I didn't even know she was on there.
Me neither. Someone else told me.
I had no clue.
I was like, I think I was young enough when BattleBots was cool
To
that
not
I
care?
hadn't, matured yet.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Yeah. That's cool. I loved that show.
That show was
so
awesome.
cool.
I remember my favorite BattleBot ever was this completely OP spinning one that just like it went up against some like elaborate contraption that was like, yes, I will do this and I will do that, and then it was just like this like super fast spinning one. It basically like went up to it and just like broke pieces off of the other. It's like it would like try to attack it and the spinning one just crack pieces off it. Love
That's
BattleBots. Let's go ahead and... So drones and privacy and all this kind of stuff. I actually posted this on Twitter last night.
That's good footage. Holy crap.
Here's some footage of... Yes, I know I'm live on Twitch. Like, it should not show me that. I'm me. Just like how it shows
That's
me
a verification that it's working.
ads on... Oh, I guess so. Fine. But ads on my own videos?
Verification that they're enabled.
Verification that they're enabled, but I'm not technically allowed to click on my own ads or, as far as I know, watch my own ads. Like, I think that's against the user.
Still,
anyway.
that's why I have ads enabled for my account on the forum.
So this is 1080p. So
this is really good.
This isn't the most interesting part.
What the heck was that?
Go up quite a bit higher. So... As drone cameras get better and better and better, the ability to spy on people and things is going to become more and more and more of a concern. So, I mean, right now maybe it's a nuclear power plant, which is like enough of a problem, but hey, you want to keep track of the route that kid takes home from school, or like there's all kinds of
This is amazing.
creepy stuff that you can do with this. And this, I didn't even go that high. I still had the 30-meter cap on. I'm
amazed at how stable it is.
I increased it to 60 on my next flight, and I didn't upload that one, unfortunately. But this is me and my son down here.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible, the kind of video quality that we're getting off of these drones these days. So I think it's cool that the French have come up with a creative solution to eliminating...
I love how medieval that net is.
I know, I love it.
That's so cool.
It's like, we just wrecked your stuff.
Get dunked.
So far, 13 of the country's 19 facilities have been buzzed, so they're looking for a way to stop quadcopters from messing with nuclear reactors. Blah, blah, blah. The drone that was photographed is an Interceptor MP200.
So you've got to check out... where is it?
And they used the interceptor to catch a DJI Phantom that was
check that
piloted
one out.
by Philippe Dubois, the company's CEO.
I think it's this
So
one.
the interceptor is a much larger and faster drone with 6 rotors, and the net it carries is pretty BA. Luke has another link to an effective method for taking out drones. This is the Malu Kamikaze.
So this little guy just goes nuts and smashes itself into the other one. And you can see still frame shots of how it works. So if you scroll down, so it flies into the other drone and just mashes into its propellers, breaking stuff off, and then they both crash. It's a lot cheaper than the one with the net, because the one with the net has to be very strong. It has 6 propellers to be able to carry the net, because the net is really heavy. This one is very inexpensive and just nails into other ones. Hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just this little quad wing little thing. And you can see they're both just super wrecked.
Wow.
Awesome.
I love it. I gotta imagine firing a projectile would be easier than carrying a net.
And you're kind of firing projectile with this. The reason why you don't want to fire something like a bullet is because it could miss.
No bullet.
Yeah,
No, but I didn't mean bullet. I meant like some kind of
Flak.
like if you and I don't know if this
Like
exists.
shrapnel flak.
But like a goopy
Okay.
like a goopy substance. Like if you could just fire like a ball of like stringy / goopy stuff that tangles it or something. Like basically, yeah, if you could fire like a ball of yarn at a drone, that would be very likely to take it down.
Yarn is gonna have troubles flying.
Yeah. So
Unless it's actually a tight ball and it's not gonna do anything.
Or if it impacts and like unfolds or something. Like if it was like a spring loaded, like all the yarn kind of goes everywhere when it hits something or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you could probably make something that is an entanglement mechanism that you could fire at other drones.
Yeah.
But I mean, this works.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that work, this was posted by Victoria's Secret. The article we've got here is from TechCrunch. Apple's activation lock leading to a significant decrease in iPhone theft in major cities. This is one of those, why didn't we do this before things? It's like, Apple and the carriers are running around all worried about, us using the phone on the wrong carrier with absolutely no regard for all these years for the wrong person using the phone on the right carrier. And so California mandated these kill switches and said they were going to bring a bill into law, something. It's not actually active yet, but Apple has proactively started enabling this lockdown feature by default on iPhones. And there's some really interesting numbers to go along with this. So the number of stolen iPhones dropped by 40% in San Francisco and 25% in New York. And smartphone theft dropped by 50% in London in the 12 months after Apple added the kill switch. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Because basically, it turns a stolen iPhone, even if you can unlock it, into like a glorified like iPod Touch. So it's not worth a whole lot.
Not a brick, but yeah. No one's really going to want it.
So far, Apple, Samsung, and Google have implemented kill switches on their smartphones. Microsoft is expected to release an operating system for its Windows phones that has one this year. But some of the smartphone systems require consumers to opt in. And blah, 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 blah. Attorney General called on all manufacturers to make the technology active as a default position, as Apple has done with the iPhones. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to force you, except as law requires in the area that you happen to live. I don't think anyone will force you to use a kill switch anytime soon, but having it on by default, I think, makes a ton of sense. That's cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Go Apple on that one. FCC now requires American carriers to unlock consumers' handsets. Also posted by Victoria's Secret. Are you posting these?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if you were keeping up. I try not to, glance at your screen because then it looks like I'm, looking at something else. And
I did this and everyone thought I was looking at your butt, which is not possible when you're sitting on a couch. But, yeah.
FCC now requires American carriers to unlock consumers' handsets. This is not quite as awesome as it sounds initially. So it's not like you can walk into your local carrier store and, go get some other carrier to bail you out of your contract fees, and then you can just take your device over to the other carrier. It has to be fully paid off and blippity bloopity blop, and there's all this other stuff.
A lot of when you pay off your thing is fully paying off your phone, though. So I wonder how that would work. Because if you got bailed out, that is technically fully paying off your phone.
So this is only after the phone has been paid off under contract or if the phone was prepaid.
Under contract, okay.
Yeah, so once payment has been completed, consumers can do what they choose with their devices. So this is actually the result of talks between the FCC and CTIA, the Cellular Telecommunications Industry Association, which represents major carriers, AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, and Verizon Wireless. So, I mean, there's no guarantee that carriers aren't still going to be butt heads and make you jump through hoops or whatever else, but ultimately, they have to do it. So, you know, other than making you talk to a retention agent or whatever the case may be, I suspect we mostly won't have to deal with too much nonsense.
Yeah.
Well, not we. We're in Canada. We get no such benefit. But...
Yeah, not at all. Americans. Yeah. Luckily.
America.
Yeah.
All right, The Verge. Wow, that is a big ad.
Yep.
I am viewing at 70% right now. Oh, no, I'm at 100%.
They've had bigger ones.
That Ford one that you showed me was like spectacular.
Pretty much the entire screen.
Wow.
Yep.
That is a big ad. It's like, how does The Verge afford their baller CES
Like
internet
500
connection?
megabit upload or whatever.
Like that.
Yeah.
Elon Musk says Tesla will unveil a new kind of battery to power your home. Why would they call him the eccentric CEO? Oh, come on. Is he more eccentric than, well, lots of other innovative CEOs?
How many of those are there?
All right, fine. So basically, something, Tesla didn't ship nearly as many cars as they predicted. Something, maybe they have more batteries than they know what to do with. Not really sure what the background is here, but the company is working on a consumer battery pack for the home. Production could begin in 6 months, and they're still deciding on a date for unveiling the new unit. This isn't exactly a new idea.
No.
The Toyota Mirai, which uses a hydrogen fuel cell, gives owners the option to remove the battery and use it to supply electrical power to their homes. And it can power the average home for about a week.
Which is crazy.
Which is awesome!
Some cool things that Tesla's planning to do is they're planning on making the battery wall mountable and having like kind of cool design so it won't look really bad. And knowing them, it'll be tall if you're wall mounting it. So if you're not flat on the ground, it would be tall but relatively skinny.
Right.
So it could actually maybe work somewhere.
Right.
Which is kind of cool. Very easily put it in the garage and have no problems. Or if you have a very like high-tech looking area, have it there and it'll probably be fine. Fairly plug and play, which is kind of awesome. Yeah, this stuff is really cool. I'm totally down with having like
I'd love to UPS my whole house.
That's essentially, what this would be. And that would be awesome. Yeah.
BMW developing new plug-in hybrid named as i5/i7 to compete against the Tesla Model S.
The i7 should have like 4 normal wheels and then 4 like wheels beside them, but they're not like really the same.
And go slightly faster.
Yeah.
Very slightly faster.
Yeah.
Just a little bit faster.
Not
too much faster.
Yeah.
Let's be really clear about not much faster. Just a little bit. And 4 wheels help or something. So our original article here is from carmagazine.co.uk and it was posted by Ah Ming. Did you post that in Twitch chat already? Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and fire this baby up. So looks like this is to take on the Model S. I guess that shouldn't be too unexpected.
Yeah.
Yep. It'll be priced to suit with target volumes in the tens of thousands and a cost spanning from just below the Tesla to more than 125,000. I think it's cool the way electric cars can actually span an enormous price range and still make sense.
Yep.
Because you can upgrade and downgrade them, and the performance still makes sense for a higher priced car, but like we still get mostly that, or at least some of that down there. But then you can kind of go, yeah, I don't need like the the fetus cow leather,
double stitched interior, or whatever the hell. Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead. What else do we know about this? I'm sure there's something.
I think this was added really late. I didn't see this in the dock until we started going.
Oh, okay. So 4.5% of all units sold in the pace-setting U.S. CARB states must be zero-emission vehicles by 2018. So yes, expect to see more electric models and for them to become more and more affordable. The E unit in front delivers 204 brake horsepower, and the smaller battery-powered motor in the back is good for 95 brake horsepower, sources say. Whoever they are. This brings the aggregate target output to 400 kilowatts or 544 brake horsepower, so right in the middle of Tesla territory. Allegedly capable of a zero emission range of 80 miles, this BMW is designed to operate in battery mode most of the time. The combustion engine will typically only cut in above 40 miles per hour when road and wind noise out-decibel it anyway, so it should be very silent to drive, much like other electric vehicles. I think manufacturers who fail to comply by not offering enough zero-emission vehicles, transitional zero-emission vehicles, neighborhood electric vehicles, or e-vehicles with range extenders have no choice but to acquire clean air credits from sources like Tesla, currently the major provider of such certificates. And that makes German car makers very sad. All right, I think that's pretty much it. We've got some more stuff. Nvidia is sending out press invitations to a March 3rd event that I actually can't make it to. Unfortunately, their CEO Jensen says that what they're showing off will redefine the future of gaming. Let that sink in for a minute. Will redefine. Doesn't say anything about a good definition, but the picture shows a thin device. It's speculated to be another Android tablet. I doubt it. If it's going to redefine the future of gaming, it won't be an iterative release of something they've already done. There may be a tablet. We might get a Tegra, X1 tablet or something, or whatever the latest one is. Can't remember. We might get a Tegra X1 tablet, but it'll probably be something to do with cloud gaming to go along with it. That would be my guess. Grid, I got a. Oh, as long as it's not embargoed, I got absolutely nothing until I find out something. Nothing. I learned nothing and nothing happened. So anyway,
Can you close that?
I'm sorry?
Close that.
Oh.
Why is that even open?
Because I was reading it. So anyway, Konami PC game sales surpassed their Xbox One sales. They went from 2% to 10% year over year, and has surpassed Xbox One and all handhelds, now going head-to-head with the Xbox 360. This was posted by, the previous one was Abhay6547, and this one was Death Jester. And the original article here is from DSOgaming.com. Skip this ad. Haha, no money for you. Well, I'm in a hurry.
I think they get a little money for that.
No, I'm pretty sure they still do. I mean, there's this ad.
No, they get a little money for you skipping.
And there's this ad. Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, I think they get a little bit on that, and they get money for these ads.
They don't really expect.
Okay, how about I click swing copters to make them feel better? I'm legitimately interested in swing copters. This looks excellent.
Okay.
Client download required. Optional software included. How can optional software be included? Isn't that the definition of optional? It says optional software included.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does that mean?
That means you probably download this game and then it's like, do you want to also install this? And
why would they even put that in a banner? That's very honest.
Idea. Yeah.
I've never seen anyone advertise that there's optional software included. All right, I'm gonna do a full review of swing copters coming up very soon.
Channel Super Fun.
Yeah, Channel Super Fun review of swing copters. Facebook rolls out a feature for users when they die. This was posted by FNOT on the forum. Our original article
we should
here
do
is from
real life
BBC.
swing copters with a drone.
Yes, absolutely. Not sure exactly how this works, but gives users the option of having their account permanently deleted when they die, or if they wish, they can appoint a friend or family member to take control of some aspects of the account. That's interesting.
An interesting note that was added to the doc too is how do they confirm your death?
I don't know. I don't understand why Facebook needs a. I don't know.
Just leave it.
What else we got here? VESA publishes Embedded DisplayPort Standard 1.4a, includes adaptive sync, so this will be good for devices that need embedded DisplayPort, like, say, for example, small stuff. Greater data rates, 8.1 gigabit per second per lane. Theoretical limit of 32.4 gigabit per second. We've got Ultra HD support at 120 hertz with 10-bit color because, DisplayPort just isn't content to wreck HDMI a little bit at every turn and everything else. WhatsApp. Oh, that was posted by QWERTY Warrior, and the original article here is from Tom's Hardware. This is all our rapid fire topics, by the way. That's why I'm rapid firing them. VESA published... Oh, I already did this. Well, basically, that's what that website looks like. You're welcome. Next up, what do we got?
The WhatsApp thing.
Yeah, the WhatsApp thing. WhatsApp may not be as private as some people thought. It's posted by iHammy. It's very unfortunate.
Super not surprising at all.
Thought anything that you posted to anything Facebook owns or really anything on the internet was private.
Yeah.
So it's WhatSpy Public is this app that I think it's a guy. Yeah, some guy made. Sure. And here's this project. I made this for you to realize how broken the privacy options in WhatsApp are. I mean, this is something that anyone from like the MSN Messenger days is probably already familiar with. Like, you could see if someone blocked you just by entering their username into a website, which, by the way, Microsoft patched and became impossible. Yet another way that MSN was way ahead of its time, and everything else that's come after it totally sucks balls.
MSN was great.
So anyway, you can see online and offline status, profile pictures, privacy settings, and status messages from anyone, even if they have the most secure private settings enabled in their account. And so the point of this was just, hey, we should probably draw some attention to this. Feels a little, what would this be, gray hat?
Yeah, I guess.
Speaking of hats, Anonymous attacks ISIS websites and social media accounts. This was posted online as Tech Tips Forum by Sauron, and our original article here is from the hackernews.com. And, I mean, the thing about when Anonymous does anything is that that's not necessarily... That doesn't mean that everyone in Anonymous is a united front doing something. It means someone saying they're anonymous, because that's the whole point, is that they're anonymous.
They declared what group within it was. I don't remember where it says. Red something, I think.
Has launched a something.
I don't know what it is, but it's
Red Cult. Anonymous Group and Red Cult announced the Operation #OpISIS and claimed to have carried out cyber attacks against hundreds of Twitter and Facebook accounts used by ISIS for its own propaganda and to recruit new members. According to the video, it's coordinated by Muslims, Christians, Jews alike, and a masked individual discusses the aim of the campaign. So they're releasing lists of Twitter and Facebook accounts suspected to belong to Islamic militants, and Twitter has already suspended more than 1,500 ISIS accounts since the group released the first list in June 2014, and dozens of militant recruiting websites were knocked offline using collective DDoS attack. I gotta say, it's nice to see them doing something positive.
They do sometimes.
They do that
sometimes
anonymously, so we don't know who's doing good, who's doing bad, who's doing something in between.
Who knows?
But someone is doing something, and I think hopefully we can all agree that ISIS is a bunch of buttholes, and anything we can do to make them not be quite such buttholes is good.
Yes, taking down communication lines of any sort is a very effective thing in these types of situations.
Yep.
So it might not seem like much, but it can
it might be like, oh, web activism is dumb. Actually, not necessarily. Not being able to get your message out there when your entire thing is that you are broadcasting this message in hopes of finding like-minded individuals and inspiring them to do unspeakable things. Actually, that's super. It's very effective. Yeah. It's like plant on rock effective.
It's super effective.
Yeah.
bar.
I mean, the only thing about Anonymous is that they're not employed. They're not there's no long-term commitment to 2018 when ISIS is still doing whatever it is they're doing. There's no long-term action plan or anything like that. But it's good that they're doing anything at all now. I guess that's pretty much it for the key stuff today. This was a short show.
Yeah.
Wow. A short, painful show.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah.
I had fun. Not because it was painful for you. That was just a bonus.
Oh, man.
I do have an exciting announcement, though. I am going to be doing the first garage sale in a very long time today.
Oh, jeez.
It is going to be, as soon as I figure out how all the tools work, the after party is going to be straight up garage sale today because there is some stuff that needs to not be here anymore and is here right now. And I need it gone. So that is why I am doing it. So that's pretty much it. We'll see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you for tuning into the WAN show. And sorry, I got some emails.
I was just going to say, I think he's just on his phone now. So I'm going to cut this so that the archive doesn't look super
Wait,
weird.
don't cut it. You got to do the outro.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh. Linda. Dollar Jackpot. Do the things. XSplit.
Watch the things. Learn the things, do the things, watch the things.
See, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learn, do, watch. I think that's the
Learn, do,
other.
broadcast.
I think it's actually, what is it? Describe, demo, do. That's like a teaching methodology.
Oh.
Yeah, I learned that in like swimming lesson instructors.
That makes